Yeah, but why'd you leave 3 kids
With the dog.
with the dog in a hotel? And then they're walking around. They're old enough to like open doors and shit. Give me an estimate. What time do you think you left?
Maybe like 11:50, 11:45. I think.
All right, get in here because this one is heavy. We are about to watch Bodycam footage where officers respond to a call that hits every nerve at once. 3 young kids reportedly left alone inside a hotel room. No matter where you land on parenting or policing, that is instantly a child safety problem, and it is instantly an officer problem. And this matters right now because child endangerment is not some rare headline. You are seeing major multi-agency operations in 2026, like Operation Soteria Shield in Texas and Operation Firewall in Southern California, pulling hundreds of arrests and rescuing kids. Different crimes, sure, but the same reality. When kids are vulnerable, the clock is ticking, and law enforcement is the one walking into the mess. So as we watch this together, I am looking at one thing first. How do the officers balance urgency with humanity? How do they keep kids safe without turning the scene into more trauma? And what does accountability look like when the situation is complicated? If you want real-time reactions from the officer side of the camera, hit subscribe and ride with me on this one.
So can you talk to him? Yeah.
What's going on? Is it just your mom? Who's
Yes, I'm mom. That's my boyfriend.
boyfriend? Okay. Okay, what's going on?
We had to go put stuff in a storage unit because we're leaving home. And I couldn't fit everything in the car.
Okay. So what, you just had to leave your kids here?
Yeah, we were barely gone less than 15 minutes. We didn't have enough space in the car. We had to be out by 12.
Okay, but you can't just leave your kids and walk around the hotel. They just came down. You see the issue with that?
The dog is running around.
The dog's running around. You got 3 children walking around the hotel. It's not the most ideal hotel. You having 3 kids walking around. You see what I mean? You hear the frustration in your voice, right? Okay. Just because you got to move some stuff out. You got 3 children to take care of. Are those his kids too, or just no? Those are just yours. You have an ID on you?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just...
I'm the one that found that.
Thank you so much.
I just don't know why you left.
We're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
What's your last
good
name?
luck. I hope you're okay. I hope your kids are okay.
Sorry.
What's your last name? What do you say?
11/9, 11/10. They've been out.
Say it again.
He was coming back to pick his stuff up. They were out in the hallway, all 3 of them. They went to knock on the door, said parents weren't here. Dog actually got out, and it was about 11:09 that happened.
Okay.
Brought him down here.
11:08. Okay. I don't have my lunch. Yeah.
The Spain's is only 13. It's not that far away.
And you
And we
both had
just-
to go
Yeah.
Yeah, but why'd you leave 3 kids
with the dog.
with the dog in a hotel? And then they're walking around. They're old enough to like open doors and shit, right?
And this isn't like the greatest of hotels.
I said that, yeah, already. Like I said, you can hear the frustration in my voice, right? I don't take this lightly.
I know.
Yeah. Okay? You can't be like leaving fucking kids walking around the hotel like this, alright? You don't know, you see the people who stay in these hotels? Not great people. Not saying that's not you. But you especially got kids walking around. It's a recipe for bad news, right?
No, you never met him before. And that's the person
Give the name to me.
that's the person that found your kids and was with your kids for what, half an hour? You know what I mean? Like, I assure you, if someone
Do you mind
else here,
if I rip this off?
yeah. Like, I wouldn't want I wouldn't want that person around my dog. You know?
What time did you leave here, man?
I'm not sure of the time. I know that it was just... It said on the map that it was only 13 minutes away, so... I literally...
Give me an estimate. What time do you think you left?
Maybe like 11:50, 11:45. I think.
Are you sure it's not?
11:45?
I think so,
It's not even 11:50 right now.
No, 10.
10:50.
That's what I mean.
Okay, so 10:45, 10:50.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we knew we had to be back soon.
And you said they found him around 11:09. They called at 11.
And they were in the hallway, all 3 of them.
In the hallway of which floor?
3rd floor.
3rd floor. And they were just walking around. Okay. What room you at? 306. All right, let's go to the room real quick.
You want to bring your kids up?
Have the kids hang out here real quick. Or leave them here for now. We'll go up soon. He's up. Your boyfriend's up there, right? I mean, he walked in the elevator.
The second that mom starts trying to explain it, you can feel the officer doing 2 jobs at once. One is pure child safety math. How long were they alone? Where were they found? What floor? What time? Because in a hotel like this, the danger is not just a fall or a locked door, it is strangers. It is trafficking risk. It is one bad adult seeing unattended kids and deciding to take advantage. And the homelessness piece matters here because it creates these brutal pressure cooker choices. Move your stuff before checkout or lose everything. But that stress does not erase the duty to supervise. Officers see this constantly, families trying to survive, and kids still paying the price. What stands out to me is the tone control. The officer is frustrated, but he keeps it anchored on the risk, not on humiliating her. That is how you keep the scene from spiraling while you figure out what has to happen next.
I don't have anything. Oh my God.
What room was it again?
306.
Okay. And they were with no one, right? It was just them three? Okay. I'm sure he talked to you already. You okay if
Told me
the,
everything.
what kind of dog you got?
Pitbull.
Was it friendly?
Yeah, Pitbull bully. She's so friendly, she might pee.
I can deal with that. It's this way. You cool if I come in? See the room? Do you mind if you hold the dog? I know she said I said it's friendly. Yeah. You said it's cool if I come in? Yeah. Yeah, I just want to check to make sure everything's like fine in here and stuff. Yeah, I appreciate it. Boyfriend, right? Yeah. Okay. Are you guys like moving around a lot? What's the deal?
Yeah, we're
Okay.
permanent.
We're homeless.
Okay. Yeah. No. That's why I asked. I mean, is there anything we can try to help you guys with or
I know we're
anything?
going through the pads and walking.
Okay, so you've been like pads and all that. Okay, all right. I just want to make sure because we got social services and stuff. I could try to help you with anything. So you guys left him in here with the dog, and then 10:45, 10:50, you guys left to go drop stuff off the storage unit. There's no adult with them. It's just them three alone, correct? Okay. Yeah. I get it. I get it. You're going through a tough situation, but I mean, you got kids alone? I don't have kids. Right? He's got kids. They got kids. I don't think they'd be leaving their kids alone in a hotel room, right? You gotta. I don't care if you got move out this time. You can talk to staff. You can always work with staff. If you have late checkout stuff, you always talk to them. When I used to travel out for the military, shit happen all the time. You gotta talk to staff. You hey, we got late check. Hey, we got a situation here. With this, we might be a little later. You can always talk to staff, right? Okay. All right. And you said you're okay with him with the and he seems like he's a pretty squared away dude. So
You're gonna have to stay with the kids for a few hours, and they're gonna talk to them.
you come outside with me. And we'll bring him up in a bit.
Yeah, we'll bring him up.
All right. So here's the deal. Okay. Okay. Yeah. It's for child endangerment. Okay. It's a misdemeanor. You're not gonna be held all day. Hopefully, I can get you out in the next hour or so. All it is I type up a complaint, I do process, and then we release you. Okay. You feel okay with the kids with the boyfriend? That's great. They're here. The room looks fine. You know, that's why I wanted to come up and check. Okay. So what's gonna happen is I'll take you out to my car. I don't want your kids to see you getting cuffed up. So we'll do it on the other side. We'll have them go up because I don't want your kids to see it. Okay. Because this is not, an ideal situation, right? Trust me, I don't want to do this shit either, but fortunately it's my job. And unfortunately, like I said, even 3 kids in a hotel room, like this place, it's not the best. I'm not saying you're a bad mother or anything. I just said maybe it's a little bit of slip of judgment, right? Do you think? Okay. Like I said, what's up?
I am trying.
You are trying. I can clearly see that. You guys got a lot going on. You're going through pads. You got 3 kids. Like I told you, I'm not a parent. These guys are parents, though. So they can understand maybe what you're going through, any type of struggle or anything. But, you can't be leaving kids around, especially in a hotel room. Either one of us can give you a ride back here, or...
Right, he doesn't have a license.
Social 23. I have the 27.
One of us can give you a ride back here. So. Okay. Are you ready?
And then we hit that hotel room door, and you can feel the whole call shift. Now, it is not just mom on the hallway explaining herself. Now, officers need eyes on the living space, who is actually in charge here, and whether the kids have any real supervision plan. What jumps out is how standard this check is in child welfare calls. Officers are scanning for obvious hazards, drugs in reach, weapons, exposed wiring, anything that turns neglect into immediate danger. The room looking basically orderly matters because it tells you this is not a trashed dope house scene, it is instability. And that is where the social services talk comes in. In a lot of cities, cops are the front door to resources, even when they are not built for it. You see it nationwide with big child protection operations like Operation Soteria Shield and Operation Firewall. Enforcement and rescue live in the same lane. Still, the arrest decision is the line. They can feel for the struggle, but they cannot normalize leaving 3 kids alone.
You ever been arrested before? You never? Okay. Oh, two of you. Yeah. Stuff like this. They'll look at your record. If you don't have an extended record or anything like that, maybe you might get some parenting classes, community service, something like that. I'm not saying that's for sure. That's up to the judge. They're going to review the report. They're going to look at the case. But typically, cases like that, sometimes they kind of leave their way. Luckily, the kids aren't unharmed or anything. It's just because of the circumstances. That's why I'm placing you under arrest. Okay? Hey, Marissa, come out with me. You guys want to take the kids up to the room?
306, right?
Yeah. She's going to say, let her sit by.
I'm gonna be right back, okay? You're gonna go over there. And I'll go upstairs. Matt's gonna go for a little bit, okay? But the doggy's waiting for you upstairs in the room, okay? Go upstairs. They're gonna take you upstairs to there.
306, right? 306.
Just wait.
Be right back.
Come on.
Should I tell somebody's gonna tell me to tell them that to?
Yeah. She'll talk.
Thank you.
Just come on. He's got jewelry, right? Nothing crazy. Nothing that's gonna, poke her. And cool. Okay. Okay.
No, you can keep that in your pocket.
Yeah, just keep it. Just when you get back there, they'll probably take it out. Just don't use it or anything, because then it causes problem. Like I said, I'll get you out of here, hopefully, within the hour. So.
Okay. You mind just stepping up to the car, put your hands in the car for me?
52, you want everything set for? No worries,
I know.
Why so many pockets? Oh
Yeah.
my God.
What the heck?
How dare you have so many pockets?
You understand I'm not telling you you're a bad mom, right? Maybe it's just a lapse in judgment, right? Okay.
Cheers, my friend.
We'll just take this as a learning experience, okay? Do me a favor, let me know if these cuffs are too tight, right?
Nine, show one female in custody. One female in custody, so far.
They're good? Cool. All good?
Yes.
No.
I know my son probably had fun talking to you guys. He wants to be a police officer when he grows up.
Kids. Very respectful.
They are.
This is the part of the call that always sits in your chest for a second, because you can see the human being in front of the badge, and you can also see the badge doing what it is required to do. Outside the hotel, it gets quieter in a way that feels louder. The officers are not hyped. Nobody's trying to embarrass her. It is just that controlled tone where you can tell they have already decided what the next steps are, and now they are trying to get through them without blowing the family up any more than it already is. And watch what the officer is doing with his words right here. He is not giving her a speech. He is giving her a map. He is laying out the reality that the report is going to go to a judge, that outcomes vary, that there are possibilities like classes or service. That matters because in these moments, people spiral. When someone is scared and ashamed, they stop hearing anything except doom. So the officer keeping it practical is not him being cold. It is him trying to keep her oriented so she does not panic and do something worse. Then you see a big procedural thing that people miss. They split the problem. One set of officers is focused on the kids and their emotional temperature. Another set is focused on the arrest. That is not just efficiency. That is trauma control. Kids do not need to be standing there watching cuffs click and pockets get searched. They do not need to hear adult consequences explained in adult language. So when the officer has someone walk the kids away and keeps his voice low, that is a deliberate move to keep the scene from imprinting on them. The Frisk and Cuffs are another moment that is hard for viewers, but it is reality. An arrest is an arrest. The officer still has to check for sharp objects, tools, anything that becomes a problem in the back of a car. And you can hear the way he narrates the small stuff. He is telling her what he is doing. He is checking comfort. He is asking about the cuffs being too tight. That is dignity. That is the difference between a lawful arrest and an unnecessary humiliation. And I want to point out something else. You hear him say in plain language that he is not calling her a bad mom. That is not some cheesy line. That is a pressure release valve. Because once a parent feels like the whole system is labeling them as evil, you lose them. They stop cooperating, they stop thinking, they start fighting every step. Him framing it as a serious lapse is the only way to keep a door open for accountability without turning it into a war. None of that changes the core truth, though. When officers show up to 3 little kids left alone, they are now carrying the worst case scenario on their backs. They have seen the calls where it ends horribly. They have seen kids wander, kids choke, kids get hurt, kids disappear. So even if this scene looks like a family in crisis more than a family with malice, the decision point is still the same. The safety standard for kids is not allowed to drop just because life is hard. This is also where the bigger picture hits. Homelessness and family instability are not just social issues out in the abstract. They create situations where one bad decision can trigger law enforcement, courts, child services, and a spiral that is almost impossible to climb out of. That is why these huge child protection efforts we keep seeing across the country matter. When agencies run operations aimed at protecting kids, it shows how serious the threat landscape is. But it also shows how often cops are the ones physically standing in front of the mess, trying to keep it from getting worse. Going forward, the takeaway for me is simple, and it is uncomfortable. We need better off-ramps before it gets to handcuffs, more real-time resources for families, more shelter options that do not force impossible choices. And we need to back officers who are doing this carefully because the public loves to judge the final image without feeling the weight of the call. If you want another example of how fast child safety turns into an all-hands emergency, check out that video on the channel where officers roll up and a toddler has ended up in water by themselves. It is a totally different scene, but the same theme. Seconds matter, and the adults on the call are trying to fix a nightmare in real time. Here it ends with cuffs and tears, and I hate that for those kids. But I also respect the way these officers keep it controlled, keep it respectful, and keep the focus where it belongs. Protect the children first, then handle the adult consequences without turning the situation into more trauma than it already is.